Welcome back to Cybersecurity Unmasked. We're the IT BizTech team, and this is our latest deep dive.
That's right. And if you joined us for episode 29 on strategic AI adoption, you'll know we love tackling the big topics.
And today is a huge one. We're going into cloud computing. But, more specifically, how to stop paying too much and, failing so often.
It's so true. Cloud isn't a question of if anymore. It's a question of how. And the how is, frankly, tripping up a lot of organizations.
The numbers are just staggering. Global spending is set to hit, over $723 billion in 2025?
Exactly, a monumental commitment, and yet the execution is it's filled with these really costly and honestly avoidable mistakes.
And that's what we need to illuminate for you. So
Yeah.
let's just start with the two most alarming statistics right out of the gate. They really frame the whole problem.
Yeah, let's do.
Okay, first one, security. A staggering 99% of cloud security failures through 2025 are going to be the customer's fault.
The customer's fault, not the provider's. And mostly from just simple misconfigurations. It's a siren call, really. It means almost all of this risk is preventable.
And on the money side, it's just as bad. 44% of executives say at least a third of their cloud spending is just wasted.
Completely wasted, thrown away.
So you've got wasted money and self-inflicted security wounds. That's the landscape.
Right. So our mission today as your IT partner is to unpack the 7 most critical mistakes. We want to give you real, actionable ways to get value and avoid that average data breach cost, which is sitting at $4.35 million.
Okay, let's get into it. Mistake number 1, the hidden cost trap. This is the biggest financial illusion, right? That the cloud automatically saves you money.
It just doesn't, not unless you're actively managing it.
So if up to a third of that spending is waste, where is all this money actually disappearing?
It's things people don't budget for. They don't look at the total cost of ownership, the TCO, properly. They see a cheap monthly server fee, but they ignore, the handcuffs that come with it.
Okay, so give us the top 2. The biggest hidden costs that just blindside executives.
The first one, and this is the most notorious, is data transfer fees. We call them egress charges.
Right.
Egress.
Moving your data into the cloud is cheap. A lot of the time it's even free.
Of course it is.
But moving your data out of the cloud for backups, for analytics, or maybe to move to a competitor, that's where they hit you with these huge compounding charges. It's the engine of vendor lock-in.
That sounds intentional. I mean, it must create this inertia where businesses are afraid to move.
It absolutely does. If you know moving 500 terabytes is going to cost you 6 figures just in egress fees, you think twice about adopting a better tool or shopping around. It kills your agility.
So what's the second big financial pothole?
Storage tier differences. When you see ads for cheap cloud storage, that's almost always for the deep archive or cold tier.
Data you might access, once a year? If that. The hot storage you actually use for your live databases and websites, that can easily cost 5 to 10 times more. And if you didn't budget for that specific tier, your costs just explode.
So prevention has to be all about tracking usage. How do you stop that bleeding and get to that 40% TCO reduction you mentioned?
It's proactive management. From day one, you need cost monitoring and alerts. And critically, you have to tag every single resource, every server, every database with an owner or a cost center.
So you can actually see who is spending what.
Exactly. It creates accountability. Then you use automated tools to right-size resources that are, say, only using 20% of their capacity. That's how you get to that 40% saving.
Okay, let's pivot from cost to what executives probably fear the most, security. Mistake number 2, the security blind spot. We started with that 99% stat. Why is it so high?
It comes down to a fundamental misunderstanding of the shared responsibility model.
Right. People assume, I'm on AWS, I'm on Azure, so I must be safe.
It's a really dangerous assumption.
So can you clarify that split for us? What is the provider handle and what are we responsible for?
The provider is responsible for the security of the cloud. So the physical buildings, the servers, the core network. You, the customer, you're responsible for security in the cloud. That's your data, your encryption, your access controls, your network rules. I mean, they give you a really strong vault, but you still have to remember to lock the door and decide who gets a key.
And where are we leaving that door wide open?
Misconfiguration. Plain and simple. It accounts for 70% of cloud breaches, and those breaches cost around $3.86 million an incident.
Wow.
And we see it all the time. A developer spins up a test storage bucket, forgets to make it private, and for a few hours, sensitive data is just out there for anyone to grab. The window for error is tiny.
That example really hits home. It's not some complex hack. It's just a switch that wasn't flipped.
Exactly.
And speaking of simple fixes, multi-factor authentication, MFA. You say adoption is still incomplete.
And the data on this is it's irrefutable. You enable MFA, and your accounts are 99% less likely to be hacked. It's the biggest and easiest win you can get.
But hold on. If 70% of the problem is a misconfiguration, like an open bucket, isn't MFA just treating a symptom? Shouldn't we focus more on automated governance to prevent the mistake in the first place?
That's a great point. And yes, automated governance is the long-term cure, but MFA is the immediate tourniquet.
Right.
It stops the stolen password, which is still a huge vector, from becoming a full-blown breach. You absolutely have to do both. But the non-negotiable first step is enabling MFA on all your admin accounts. Do that today. And this week, audit your storage to make sure everything is encrypted.
All right, let's move from security to just operational messiness. Mistake number 3, poor data management. I've heard that poor data quality messes up something like 84% of migrations.
It does. We call it data sprawl, and it is deeply expensive. People just do a lift and shift. They move everything over duplicates, obsolete files, everything.
And end up paying premium cloud prices for junk.
They end up over-provisioning storage by 30 to 50%. You're paying top-dollar hot storage rates for a financial report from 5 years ago that nobody has even looked at.
So the fix has to be about getting organized first and then automating it so it stays organized.
Precisely. You classify your data. Is it active? Is it cool? Is it archive? Then you create automated lifecycle policies. It's a set and forget rule. After 90 days of no access, this file automatically moves from expensive hot storage to cheaper cold storage. That alone can cut storage costs by 35 to 50%.
So once our data is clean, the next problem is it running slowly? Which brings us to mistake number 4, underestimating performance. What do businesses miss when an app that ran fine on-prem just crawls in the cloud?
They almost always miss 2 critical infrastructure differences. The first is network latency.
Okay.
On-prem, in your own building, your network response time is, single-digit milliseconds. The cloud introduces more latency because the data is traveling over the internet across regions.
And why does that tiny delay matter so much?
It cripples what we call chatty applications. Think of older systems that have to make hundreds of tiny rapid-fire requests to a database just to complete one action. That little bit of latency, multiplied by hundreds of calls, grinds the whole application to a halt.
And the second performance gap?
Storage performance, specifically something called IOPS.
Input-output operations per second.
Right, how fast the disk can read and write. Database-heavy apps, like your main accounting system, need really high IOPS to function. If you choose a cheaper standard storage tier to save money, you starve the application. It's not just slow, your payroll might actually fail during peak processing.
So prevention is just non-negotiable pre-migration testing. You have to prove it works before you flip the switch.
Absolutely. Pilot tests are essential. And you need to look at things like caching and content delivery networks, CDNs to speed things up, and always match the IOPS tier to the application's needs.
We're down to the last 3. Let's start with mistake number 5, skipping disaster recovery planning. This one is so important because people think moving to the cloud means DR is just automatic.
It's a dangerous misconception. High availability, or HA, protects you if a server fails. It does not protect you from ransomware or a major human error.
And the cost of that failure, it's huge.
It is. The average organization sees about 138 hours of downtime a year. For a medium business, that can cost over $5,000 a minute. You cannot be figuring this out during a crisis.
So if HA isn't DR, what's the gold standard we should all be aiming for?
We guide all our clients to implement the 3-2-1-1-0 backup rule. It's the definitive framework, especially now with ransomware everywhere.
Okay, break that down for us.
Right. So 3 is for 3 copies of your data. Your main one plus 2 backups. 2 is for 2 different types of storage media.
So don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. 1 is for 1 copy stored offsite away from your primary location.
Now what about the extra 1 and the 0? Those are the newer additions, right?
Yeah, they are, and they are non-negotiable today. The next one means 1 copy must be immutable or air-gapped.
Okay, hang on. For anyone who's not super technical, what does air-gapped or immutable really mean here? Why is that the secret weapon against ransomware?
It means that backup copy is logically disconnected from your main network. Immutable means once it's written, it cannot be changed, deleted, or encrypted by anyone, not even an admin.
Or crucially by ransomware.
That's the key. If ransomware encrypts your entire network, it can't touch that immutable copy. It guarantees you have a clean version of your data to restore from.
That makes the cost of doing it seem tiny in comparison.
It is. And finally, the zero. That stands for zero errors, verified through regular scheduled testing. A backup you haven't tested is just a hope, not a plan.
That's a great line. Okay, mistake number 6. This one's about architecture, overcomplicating things. I call this the Kubernetes overkill problem.
That's a perfect name for it. We see companies adopting multi-cloud for no good reason, or building complex microservices when a simple app would do. Complexity just increases 3 things: your costs, your security risks, and your management headaches.
So you're paying more to manage something you don't need, and it's actually making you less secure.
Precisely. The rule should always be, start simple. You only add complexity when there is a clear, measured business case for it, not just because it's the trendy new thing.
And that flows right into the last one, mistake number 7. Choosing the wrong provider or plan. This is where vendor lock-in really bites you.
It all comes back to our first point on egress charges, doesn't it? You get tied to proprietary services that only work with one provider, or you sign long financial commitments. We always tell clients to design for portability from day one. Use standard things like containers so you always have the flexibility to move.
Don't rush into that long-term contract.
Exactly. Take your time, read the fine print, and look very closely at those exit fees.
This has been a really, really necessary deep dive. Before we wrap, let's just summarize the core philosophy here. What are the big takeaways?
It boils down to 3 pillars for us at IT BizTech. First, realistic planning. That means accurate cost models that actually include things like egress fees. Second is security first. Understand that shared responsibility model and fix your misconfigurations. And third, expert guidance. Don't try to learn all this through trial and error. It's far more expensive than just getting help.
That's a really clear roadmap.
Yeah.
So let's leave you with a final thought to mull over, building on that complexity mistake.
Okay.
The complexity trap isn't just about money or risk. It's about focus. If all your best people are spending all their energy managing overly complex infrastructure you don't even need, what crucial part of your actual business are you neglecting? Think about that opportunity cost.
We want you focused on your business, not fighting with infrastructure. That's why we at IT BizTech provide these frameworks and services to navigate these exact pitfalls. From migration planning to cost optimization and security monitoring, right here for businesses in Toronto and the GTA.
So we really encourage you to just take a look at your own cloud setup using what we talked about today. That 3-2-1-1-0 rule is a great place to start.
And if you feel overwhelmed auditing your costs or closing those security gaps, just contact us. Our number is 416-342-1568, or you can find us online at IT BizTech.
You've been listening to Cybersecurity Unmasked, brought to you by IT BizTech. We're here to help you move forward with confidence. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.